Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. We had a gentleman call us up and want to know if we could fix his pinball machine, and we said, I think I could, and so he brought it down here to us, and we're going to fix it. What do you think about that? Now, I'm telling you that ahead of time. Think of the boldness of my statement. I'm saying, of course we can, right? I haven't done a thing to it yet. I don't know for sure that I can fix it. But if I start out thinking that I'm not going to be able to fix it, there ain't no way in hell I'm going to fix it, right? So, sure we can fix it. This is Bally's SKATEBALL solid state game. I've never had one of these, which is another reason we agreed to fix it. So we're going to fix it on video, and then I'm going to make a video of us playing it. How do you think about that? And we'll add that one to the list. It's a really interesting looking game that has like a skateboard theme. So I would guess early 80s, probably 82 or so. Let's see if we can find a date on it. 1980. So it would have came out in 80 or 81. Sometimes they do the art a little bit earlier. Well, they always do the art a little bit earlier than the release date. But the back glass on this particular one is in excellent shape. I mean, it looks perfect. Playfield is a completely different story. Check out the artwork though. We'll do a separate video where we play it, but I'll just give you a quick glance. So it's got this pinball looking thing in the middle. It has some flashing lamps, which I don't know if those are flashers or if the CPU is doing that. I think the CPU is doing that. It's stuck in a game right now, not doing anything. It's got beautiful artwork on it. This couple on the beach. It's got a little van over here with surfboards on the top. I mean, that's a hell of a back glass, in my opinion. Look at that. The artwork on the side of this particular one, the guy or somebody repainted it a little bit, so it's a little bit, it's been taped in a little bit, but all in all, it's pretty cool. And then the playfield. This playfield has tons of wear on it. And the guy, we spoke to the gentleman, and he doesn't want to spend a ton of money on it. He just wants to get it where it's nice and playable again. I'm not even sure that we could do too much with this playfield. It would have took a lot of work to try to fix all this wear. I mean, I could have done something, but I don't know that it would have ever looked really, really good. But so we're just going to leave the wear. So what we've done is we have stripped everything off of it. We cleaned it as best as we could get it. And then we put like 3 thick layers of wax on it. And that's just how it's going to be. So it's got severe wear. It will probably continue to wear in a minor way, you know. I would imagine a lot of this was done when it was on route before the gentleman owned it. But he said he's had it in his family for a long time. And he wants to get it back up and running again. So that's what we're going to do. So it has pretty rough wear across the playfield from, you know, the ball always goes that route when it goes out. And then up here, by this pop bumper, it's pretty severe. And then, of course, all this in the middle around the bonus ladder. But, like I said, we cleaned it up. It's very clean now. It's waxed, so it does have a protective wax on it, which will help it a little bit. So, hopefully it won't get too much worse as he plays it over the years. But we got to get it where it actually plays again. But we cleaned everything up and put it back together. Look at some of the artwork on this thing. I mean, holy hell, man. Bally was just like out of control by this point. This was around the time they did Future Spa. Look at this girl. She not only is skating, she's dancing. Look at her. Get it, girl. Look at this crap. Oh, hell, this girl up here is shooting the duck. Y'all remember that? Shooting the duck. So anyway, very cool looking game. Look at the dude here and the chick here. Man. Pinball baby. So the thing has some kind of problem with the switches, and it won't shoot the ball out, and there's some stuff like that going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back glass off so we can look in the back box. I looked at it when he brought it in, and I believe it has a brand new MPU in it. So hopefully there's no problems on that MPU, because the newer ones are a little harder to fix than the original ones, because I don't understand how they work, right? But we'll figure it out one way or the other. So I'll take the back glass off and we'll see what we can figure out. Okay, folks, so our first little thing is that that is the tilt light that's on, so that might give us some kind of clue. Maybe it's something. I don't really know what these do when they tilt. The sound doesn't work at all, so we'll be fixing that. So here's the new MPU. Let me brighten it up a little bit. These are excellent products. That's an All-Tech MPU. If you put one of those in your game, you're good to go. But the problem is, and they can be repaired. Notice all the chips are socketed. The people that make it, I think, will give you pretty good support over email and tell you what they think it might be, and you can try swapping chips and stuff yourself. So, and I'm pretty sure the schematics have been released. So, it's a cool little deal. That's the way to go if you can. They're about $200, but once you put that in, it'll play any of the games, the Bally or the Stearns. And once you put that in, you usually don't have many problems with it. But what can happen is, like, if the solenoid voltage gets shorted somehow on the playfield into the switch voltage, you can fry one of these little chips on it. So they can be screwed up, but they're usually pretty solid on their own. But we'll find out. I might be playing that crazy sci-fi music right now, because what I'm saying is unintentionally ironic. So these lines here are the switch lines, and none of the switches are working. The flippers and everything are dead, but it looks like everything's plugged in. So the first thing I'm going to do is check fuses. Let's see, I think I can go into test. I don't know if I can with it in the middle of a game. Nope. No, we're just dead. We're dead, folks. All right, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to check fuses and see if I can find any blown fuses or anything weird like that happening, and we'll figure it out from there. Todd! Hey, Todd! Look what we found all the way down here in South Carolina. Somebody either bought this from Todd or was thinking about it. Look at this. In 1997, Todd took Diners Club International and carte blanche, all major credit cards. It says, TNT Amusements, visit the largest showroom in the world. You can rent our showrooms for a private party. We also rent games for parties at your location. Pinball machines, arcade video games, jukeboxes, shuffle bowling alleys, air hockey, foosball tables, skee ball, darts, pool tables. Over 120 reconditioned machines on display. I could do a commercial for Todd, except it would be a step down because he's so freaking good at it, right? Showroom hours, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So for some reason, he decided Wednesday was hands off. Nobody in the showroom on Wednesdays, Todd. Please note, we are closed Wednesdays, January through October. I'll bet that was an agreement with his wife. She was probably giving him all kinds of crap because all he did was work, and he said, "Okay, I'll take off Wednesdays, but not for Christmas. Closed Sundays, only open for private parties." So in other words, he was working Sunday too. Come on, Todd, you're working too much. Look at these. So there's the little photo opportunity he was setting up there. And then he's got a T-Mech. Is that a T-Mech? No, steel. I don't even know what that is. Oh, there's a race driving. I'm trying to look at all this through the viewfinder. His pinball sign, which I think he's still got in there. I think that's a Doctor Who. There's a Raven. I think that's a Frankenstein. A Jungle Lord. Very cool. But wait, there's more. What? It's a freaking booklet. Why buy from us? Our history of quality from 1979 to 1997. Todd Tuckey placed games outside his home in Northeast Philly in late August '84 with big for sale signs on them. And dozens of customers came. Every Friday and Saturday until Christmas of '84, games were sold for $100 up to $600 each on an as-is cash and carry basis. During the week, unsold games were covered with plastic and kept outdoors, sometimes as many as 90 games lying the long driveway. Hey, Todd, I've been there too, buddy. I didn't have that many. But that's how we started, selling them in our driveway. Rain was a pain in the ass. Chex Hockey was $11.99. Here's his daughter Tammy in her custom pinball crib. Deluxe cockpit games start at $12.99. Cocktail table games start at $5.99. Detail of Secret Service. Under Whirlwind Pinball. Restoration Services. Very cool. So this gentleman must have picked this up somewhere back in the day. All right. Pretty cool. Old school 23-year-old TNT Amusements brochure inside the game. Very cool. Okay, so we've had a few people asking us about tilt mechanisms, and since the tilt lights are on the game, why not look at the tilt mechanism, right? So let's look at it a little bit. There's two ways, well, there's several ways, but there's two ways that we're, well, three ways that we're looking at here that the game can tilt. So one way is you lift up the front of the machine, this ball will roll forward, and it hits this. If it hits this and this switch at the same time, it'll tilt. Well, that is a switch that the game senses. It senses that it tilted, right? This was bent. I just bent it back, so now it's bent a little bit too far out of shape. They had it bent like that. But basically, if you lift it up, the ball rolls down, now it's touching both, so that's like a switch being closed, right? So they have a wire running here that is connected to all of this metal. And then they have a wire running here connected to this blade of this switch, right? So if you lift it up, the ball rolls down, makes it tilt. The other one is this thing here. It's basically, it just shakes into place. They've got it bent way out of place so that it doesn't happen. But if you shake the machine enough, or you hit it hard enough, it'll make that jump up. That touches that, and it tilts. There's more of those on the machine too. Like, for instance, this one. I've got it up real bright so you can see something. So the other one is, there is a plumb bob, which I don't see in the game. I'm looking around. Yeah, it's long gone, people. But here's how it works. Okay, there is a wire going to this ring, and then there is a wire going up to here. And there is a piece of metal that hangs down with a plumb bob on it through this hole. And as you move it, that plumb bob, it's like a little conical thing, touches this metal. But look what's going on. The wire that goes to the bottom is connected here, right? And then this is a cap. The wire that goes to here, that's supposed to go up to here, someone has twisted around the freaking People, you just permanently tied it to tilt. You like, you made it permanently tilted. What are you doing here? There's no way it's that easy. Who the hell would have done that, though? I don't know who would have tied that down there. But that very well could have been the whole problem with the game, right? So I moved the wire. Let's try turning it back on. Okay, now the sound wouldn't work. Do the wires look well connected on that speaker to you? So I jiggled one a little bit. Jiggle it just a little bit. And people, I just heard some sound when I turned this sucker back on. All right, so let's try to start it now with it not permanently tilted. That's why we get paid the big bucks, folks. Okay, folks, so I'm joking around a little bit, but really the problem was that they had a wire tied to it was permanently tilted. So that was the main problem. But there's still lots of little things that have to happen. Like the sound is working, but we need to resolder that to make sure it's fine. We probably need to recap the soundboard. We've got a lot of problems where like the flippers stick in. Things like that. So that all needs to be rebuilt. The light bulbs all need to be replaced under the playfield. They're either not working or burnt out or halfway burnt out. We need to adjust the switches on the flippers and all of that. We need to, you know, address things like this where the coil wrapper's falling off. So I don't want you thinking that, oh my God, he's going to charge the guy a fortune and all he did was just remove a wire. No, we're going to go through it. We're going to make it nice. Because it's not just fixing them, you got to make them where they're reliable, where it's going to work for the guy for a while. You know, I don't want to say a number because then if it doesn't, he'll come back complaining. But you got to give it the best possible chance of working long term for him. So we're gonna do some stuff on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum out the inside of it and clean all that up a little bit, and I'm going to resolder the wires on that speaker. The one's just twisted around it. We're going to move all this stuff. The reason you don't want a bunch of stuff like this in the bottom of the machine, nobody will ever see it, but it knocks around and hits things and screws things up, gets stuck to wires that short out the other wires and stuff like that. So it's not a good idea to have a bunch of crap in there. So I'll get all the stuff that's junk and trash it, and the stuff that we want to save, like for instance, Lionel Richie All Night Long. I will save this because he may have saved this because they used to have the jukebox and this was their favorite song, and so the piece of paper ended up in the machine. You know, so I'm not going to throw away anything that could possibly have any value. But we'll clean it up a little bit and we'll put everything in a baggie or something. So he's got all of his treasures and his keepsakes. And we'll start working through, and as I find things that are screwed up, I'll show you what we run into. Okay, folks, we cleaned it out a little bit, and I replaced all of the light bulbs underneath the playfield. Almost all of them are working. There are a couple that are not. It's kind of got a spazzy kind of light show, but I think it's right. Whenever you go into the light bulb test, they all do their thing like they should. So the thing has 4 flippers. I went through and I messed with them a little bit and got them where they plunge as they should, and they don't stick, so they should work good. The thing I'm gonna mess with now is, well, I guess we'll just try playing it. This Williams flipper bat's driving me crazy. That's got a Bally one, a Williams one, another Bally one, and then a little 2-inch one, which I guess is right. I guess I need to look at a picture to see if that's the right one for up there. But we've got it reliably booting and doing its thing. I resoldered the wire on the speaker. So I guess we could test play it a little bit. There's 2 light bulbs that don't work. I wrote down which ones they were so we could look at that on the light board. And we need to rebuild the soundboard because it's all staticky. But I suppose we'll try playing it for a minute and see what we run into. Okay, we'll see if it'll do anything. There's sound, but it's really low. Let me see if I can turn it up at all. It's there, but it's low. Seems like everything's working well, to the best I can tell. Oh, they killed me with the Comet out lane. Okay, so it actually appears to work pretty good. I think maybe next we'll work on the soundboard and see if we can get some volume out of the soundboard. So I'll pop it out and we'll take a look at it. Okay, folks, so this is the soundboard. This is known as the Dash 51 soundboard. You'll see people refer to it as that. This was about the 3rd one that they released that Bally came out with. So this was in some of the ones like, so in 1980 was when this game supposedly, I guess, came out. So Future Spa and stuff like that would have had the same soundboard. The earlier games like Lost World and Kiss and things like that used a little bit simpler one. So the main problem is going to be this volume potentiometer. They're real cheap. It's similar to the little cheap piece of crap one that's on the Gottlieb power supplies and like System 80s and they're just, and System 3s even, they're just crappy little potentiometers. It's a 1K ohm. It's even marked on the potentiometer's body itself there. So I'm going to replace that with a new one. The sound is a little scratchy and distorted, so I'm going to replace these capacitors too, which it may just be that's how they all sound. And then I'm also going to remove these chips and clean the legs. We had a customer send us, we did a video with with Trevor. Trevor's last name's Paul. We did a video with Trevor, and I was showing him how we use a little flathead screwdriver to take the chips out. So some kind-hearted regular viewer of ours ordered and sent me this bent screwdriver. Now it's referred to as a chip lifter, right? And it's basically just a screwdriver that's bent, but it does work pretty damn good. So you put it in the end, and then whenever you do this, it lifts it up out of there. Well, if I had both hands, I'll bet it'd do it even better. So it's pretty good because you get a little bit better leverage. And it's got a little split forked tongue there, which might make it do something else that I'm not aware of. Do you know what that does?
Get between 2 pins, maybe?
I was thinking that, but I don't know. Oh, maybe it's so it can grab around a pin. Maybe like that. I don't know, people. I'm just going to use it like I use a screwdriver. It seems to be working pretty good.
Or it's for pulling nails and they just rebranded it.
That's what I was kind of thinking, yeah. But yeah, it seems to work pretty good. So thank you, whoever sent me this. I will put it with my tools and use it regularly. But I'm going to replace the potentiometer, do some caps, and clean these chips, and let's see what we end up with. Okay, folks, so it's freshened up a little bit. Let me tell you about a problem we keep running into. These little pots, they're horrible, but they're a trim pot. It has a thumb wheel on it. I guess they call it a trimmer. It has a little thumb wheel on it. It's hard to find those that they make anymore that are any good. So we keep having to put these little closed potentiometers in it, and you can turn them, but you need a little screwdriver to turn it, which isn't as good on a game like this. It should be a setting where you can just reach in there with your hand and turn it, you know. But it's hard to find these. You can find like new old stock ones, I guess, but we keep running into that problem. And then here's what you usually find. These little cheap pieces of crap. So sometimes you have to resort to using those. Let's see something beautiful that I found though. Look at this. I got this kind, but the footprint's different. Right? It's the same problem with the neck boards. The old neck boards on the monitors, the little knobs that you can turn by hand, can't really get them anymore. Some company was making them, and I guess they went belly up. Okay, so I did that. I replaced the 4 capacitors. I cleaned the chips. Oh, and this thing. I think the split part might be to lift components, because look, you could do it like in there like that. And you desolder it from the back. You put it in there like that. Whap. Lift her up. Like that. I have a new toy. Alright, so I'm going to put it back in the machine. This is going to make our sound mucho bueno. The filter cap you can replace too if you want, but I've never had it fix anything. I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea too, but another thing. These are basically an entire computer contained in this one board. That's how they designed a lot of the soundboards. Williams did it like that, and Bally did it like that, at least sometimes. Right? So if you look, this is a 68. Oh, no, that's a 6820. What am I looking at here? So Motorola would number their stuff weird, right? This is a 6800 CPU. This is a 6820 PIA, which is pretty much the same as a 6821 peripheral interface adapter. And then this is a sound AY-3-8910, which can create melodies and stuff. This is the RAM. Again, it's the Motorola part number, but they called them, what were those called? 6810. That's a 6810 RAM, and then, of course, the ROM chip. So it's got the CPU, the RAM, the ROM, and then it's using a peripheral interface adapter to talk with this chip. So it's its own little computer. Here's the crystal. Right? And then after it creates whatever it's going to create, it sends it over here to this amplifier. This is a little LM3900 preamp. And this is a TDA 2002 amplifier. So it's its own little CPU, its own little computer, its own software, just to run basically this sound chip and play some of the stored sounds, I guess. I don't know how that works, but and then it has a little amplifier circuit here, and it's all built into one thing. And then later they would say, okay, well, we've used this -51 revision long enough, let's make another one. And they started making the sounds, the cheap squeak and all that stuff, the sounds great, or the sounds good deluxe, or whatever it was called. And they would just continuously make new revisions of the soundboard, and the MPU in the game would just send signals to turn on and off certain lines. So the solenoid signals usually would run over to here. So works pretty good though. All right, so we'll pop it back in and see if we're loud. Okay, people, we mounted the board back in. Let's see if we can hear anything. Now that sounds screwed up, but we ran into this on the Future Spa, and it was the exact same soundboard. That's the kind of crazy crap they play when the game boots up, as kind of like a test of the soundboard. So watch when let's go into the test menu. We'll get to the sound test. There's our light test. That's the display test. Solenoid test. I have no clue, people. I don't know if it's supposed to sound like that or not. We'll start the game and see if it sounds any better. I'm going through the test menu. You know, let me make sure there's not like sometimes there's a setting for sound inside the game. Let me make sure that I'm looking at these little documents up here around it. Sound option. Refer to instruction manual, page 7. Okay. So there is some kind of sound option in the service manual. Let's check that out. So on the bottom of the game, they have printed out the manual. So let me see if we see anything in here about the sound. Page 7 isn't really going to work for me because all of this has just been kind of reprinted. Sound option. The game is designed to make several tones and noises to announce power up, game up, etc. The tones are intended to attract attention to the game and increase game usage. The tones are controlled by pressing self-test button until the number 18 shows up on the player score displays. Now pulse the replay button to desired settings. Setting 0, most switches associated chimes without feature background. Setting 01, playfield switches associated noise without background. Setting 2, most scoring will have a chime effect. Setting 3, most all scoring will have a noise effect with background. Well, people, I'm the type that likes to go all the way live, so we're definitely setting number 18 to 3. So 18 is on 0. How do I change it? Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, I don't know if... I think that's the modern version of that Alltech board that you don't need a battery pack for or anything. Let's see if it sounds any different when it starts up or if it's just... Now, remember, this has like a skateboard and surfing kind of theme, so... I don't know. It's going to be loud, people. Get ready. It's going to be loud. All right, we're going to start the game. I bet that's how it's supposed to sound. turn it down. All right, folks, I looked it up on YouTube. This is exactly how it's supposed to sound. So in 1980, they wanted to give people the option of having noise in the background. I guess they couldn't really keep a melody going in the background. And if you think about it, the melody might even be more annoying if it was playing just a short loop over and over and over and over and over again. So this was the early foray into background music, which I believe Flash had done first. So it's all Steve Ritchie's fault. Let's see if it seems a little better with a with a background sound going on the whole time. And I've got the volume down a little bit to save your eardrums. People, when we're testing the volume, I mean, I got to turn it up to make sure it'll go up, right? That switch up there might need a little help. Ooh, the drop target bricked me. Oh, sucker shot. Woo, boy. I need to adjust that a little bit. Oh. That top left flipper, not completely sold on yet. All right, so we're getting there. All right, so I'm going to swap the flipper bat, I think, this one down here with a Bally one. And we're gonna work on those two lights that don't light up. So the two lights that don't light up are Spots X and Collect Bonus. Everything else seems to work. So yeah, that's next. And then after that, we just need to play it. Okay, folks, I replaced those two SCRs, and I got my Collect Bonus light working. And I got my Spots X light working. Oh, is it? Oh, no, it wasn't stuck on. It's working. Okay, so maybe we replace the flipper bat now. What do you think about replacing the flipper bat?
Go up my nose, I don't care.
All right, folks. So here's what I did. I replaced the flipper bats with some that I had. The one on the left was a Gottlieb, and the one on the right was a Williams, and this is a Bally. What do you think about that, Matt?
So the one on the right, you said was the Bally?
No.
Oh.
The one on the left was a Gottlieb.
Oh, okay.
The one on the right was a Williams, and this machine is a Bally.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay.
I don't see a problem.
I don't care. So I fixed that. I got all the light bulbs to work. The hardest part was the 3 pop bumpers. They had been hackulated to death. The one on the left, the wire that made the light up, was somehow underneath the metal bracket that holds the pop bumper on. So they must have changed the pop bumper bracket at some point. But I got all them working. And then also, I had not noticed before, but that spinner arrow was locked on. And then it was locked off, but now it's working. So everything's cool. We're all copacetic. So Matt is going to volunteer to test play it. Are you any good at pinball, Matt?
Not particularly.
Okay. And by the way, this is second Matt, not the other Matt. There are 2 Matts.
You may know me as a good Matt.
Yeah, good Matt. So this is good Matt. I have no clue. I have yet to figure out why this damn gate is even there. Why is that even there?
You talking about this one?
No, this one.
Oh.
Like, what the hell is that for? It's got to be in the wrong spot. What would that even do?
There's nothing that would kick it anywhere, is there? No, there's no kicker.
We might have to inspectolate that.
Would it maybe have gone across here? Richard?
Yeah, maybe, but what the hell does that do?
I mean, if it comes in and keeps it from bouncing out, like, if it would let the ball come in here, but it keep it from coming in here and bouncing back out, maybe. I mean, that's a stretch, but
I don't know, folks.
it makes more sense than
Not
that.
sure.
Yeah, because it hits the plastic.
I don't know, folks. Something's wrong with that one, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, Matt's going to test play it. So, Matt, go ahead and do your thing, and then tell me if you think it works good. Now, what do you think about the dulcet tones that you're hearing in the background?
That's supposed to be the ocean, I take it?
I think so. Cali, baby.
Or a spaceship.
Yes. What do you think about that?
It is one of the few games I've seen that doesn't launch straight up the side. Now, some people will play with strategy and aim at targets. I just press the flippy things when the ball gets close.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, Matt. Don't let people shame you into thinking that you're any less of a pinball player than them. You lost out there, Matt.
Yeah, not very good. Well, look, 97,000. That's obviously the highest score.
97,560. That's not bad.
I mean, that's almost all the digits.
Yeah.
So I forget, what do they call the three green lights at the top? There's a term for that I can't think of.
Those are called rollover lanes.
Yes. I learned how those work just recently.
If you hit the right button, the light that's lit up will change. Now, if you were a client who had brought this to us to be repaired, would you say that it was working?
I would claim that it was working, yes. I haven't noticed any targets or anything that don't seem to work.
I think we got it. All right, folks. Well, we're going to keep playing the pinball. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about it. Oh, no. Oh, Matt. You're not lucky, Matt.
What? Is the ball still on the table?
That's true, yeah. All right, folks, leave your comments below. Make sure to click our Amazon link. Do you know why they should click our Amazon link, Matt?
Because then you can sell their information to the Chinese government?
No, that's not going on.
Okay.
If you click the link to Amazon, it pays us a royalty for everything that you buy on Amazon. So do that. We appreciate everybody that has it. And make sure to check out our brother's channel. You know the name of my brother's channel?
That would be my brother Donnie.
My brother Donnie. It's taken over the world, people. I'm over there on that channel a little bit, but it's mainly my brother Donnie. So make sure and check that out. He's the craziest of the three of us. You've met Donnie, haven't you?
I have met Donnie.
Would you agree he's the craziest of the three of us?
Yes.
Okay.
Him and his goats.
Him and his goats, yes. All right, people. So leave your comments, and we will. Oh, you saved it.
Yes, I did.
Leave your comments below, and we will see you on the next video.